Have you ever died in Valorant and thought, how did they swing me right as I looked away? Why do I always get peeked at the worst possible time? It's not luck, it's timing. In this video, we're breaking down one of the most important yet overlooked skills in Valorant, peeking on timing. If you've mastered this skill, you'll get more kills without the need to improve your aim. First, let's define timing clearly. Timing is exploiting the moment when your opponent is most vulnerable. This could be when they are clearing a corner, when they're in a place that they have to hold W, when they're giving audio cues, when they just pulled out utility, and ultimately, when they're not expecting a peek. Attention is a resource, and players can only focus on one thing at a time. Understanding the enemy player's perspective is crucial to understanding this moment of vulnerability, known as timing. But let's talk about angles where peeking on timing makes sense. Okay, so in this scenario, you're on attack, trying to contact from garage into the C bomb site. You have to W key to scale parts of this hallway, plus you have a lot of common angles and corners to clear. So an example position that would counter this hallway is to sit at the green box and peek garage every few seconds. To show it again, just while you watch, keep in mind the angle on the green box and think about how ready we would be for a fight if someone peeked it on timing. The chance that you'll catch someone clearing an angle is very high, making this a great angle to peek on timing. These angles exist on every map, you just need to understand what's likely being held and cleared. So as an example, the backside jump spot angle is the most common angle to hold, making it the worst angle to actually peek from. Any peek from other angles is going to at least give you somewhat of an advantage, as anyone scaling up C would usually be holding their W key. The whole basis of why these are considered peek on timing angles is because it's not a great position to hold from, but more so you're looking to find the window where people are holding W or clearing. Now let's talk about the peek. Whenever we peek on timing, we want to do a short peek or a crouch peek. Your intention here is to always make yourself untradeable, get a pick, and get out. If you're Jett, Reyna, Chamber, or in a 1v1, you can swing wider, but if you're down numbers, try to use a short peek to get a kill and live. If you need a position to practice your short or crouch peek, this box helps as you'll fall off if you go too wide. Now for audio. Audio is obviously an important piece of information as it can fully set you up for an easy pre-aim and gives a clear understanding of the exact perspective the enemy has. For example, if I hear an enemy running short, I know that if he passes this hallway, he's likely to clear this corner. This gives me an easy timing to peek from any of these angles and just collect a freebie. It may not feel like it's big, but giving audio to your opponent sets up a very easy pre-aim and can tell them what you're looking at.
Snatch this one away from Gentlemaids.
So consider this in-game example. You see your down numbers and you know you need to equalize somehow. Sitting in a crossfire isn't how you win these scenarios. You become easy to trade just holding. You have to peek on timing. As we watch again, listen for the audio and understand that when you hear footsteps, that means that some people are clearing sight and not holding, giving you an opportunity to peek on timing. Then there's utility. This massively goes hand in hand with audio, given that you'll likely be taking your timing either as they are utiling and running into a site, or when you expect them to start utiling. Here's an example from Xross. As the Sova in garage window, he understands based off of audio that the enemy team is about to start retaking. This is the usual util timing that he decides to peek and punish. Obviously, because the enemy Omen gets spammed, they don't look to blind and flood as would be standard, but he takes the same timing right as the retake should begin for the opponent. Each map has areas where the enemy will commonly use util, such as close A long. Now obviously I'm in a server alone with my friend Sova here, but think about how teams do an A hit. Omen's throwing smokes, Sova's droning. This would be the timing where, especially as a Jett, Reyna, or Chamber, you could look to find a window of opportunity to catch someone while they're using util. But just be mindful in ranked that you're probably not catching any util timings when you play against comps like this. Another example relating to utility comes from the same game. Notice during Nongshim's C-long rush that everyone has utility out as they run forward into the site. Guru's throwing a flash, Neon's throwing stun, Sova's darting, and Omen is smoking. Obviously with Neon, the window to punish isn't long, but a peek at the right timing will almost always net you a kill. Even in RRQ's C-side hit, you can tell everyone still has util out except Sova, but because he's W King, it's still a good fight. And the last important detail to be able to capitalize on timing is positioning. Being at the edge of smokes or in a pivot spot ready to peek is the only way to capitalize on a timing the opponent gives up. As we go back through all of the clips we've already watched, notice that we aren't in a common angle peeking for no reason. We're in the position that allows us to punish a timing. So to make this actionable and something you can practice, you just need to do these two things. First, find pivot positions away from the most common angles to hold, or sit at the edge of smokes. And 2, step into the mind of your opponent and understand how you can punish one of these opportunities. Playing to peak on timing isn't the end-all be-all of Valorant. Holding, swinging off your teammate, or entering all has their place. But the best players in the world that have consistent highlight plays understand this concept at an extremely high level. And that is what makes peeking on timing one of the most important but overlooked skills in Valorant. Thanks for watching. Drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.